Good afternoon, happy Friday. Welcome back to some Learnivore Facebook Live lessons. I'm Darren Thomas McGuire. Very nice to see you once again. So, in today's installation, episode 3 already, we're going to move on to the guitar. So, first lesson we did bass, last time we did saxophone, and now the guitar. So today, I've got my acoustic, because I feel like taking it easy on a Friday, as in we're going to go over playing some chords for the Eagles song, Take It Easy, a classic written by the late Glenn Frey along with Jackson Browne. It was most recently performed at the Grammys, which was a pretty awesome performance, very emotional, very moving, with Jackson Browne taking Glenn Frey's place along with the remaining members of the Eagles, Don Henley, Don Felder, Joe Walsh, and also Timothy B. Schmidt. Great lineup. So today I've got my trusty Alvarez acoustic guitar. I really love this one. It's pretty sunburst. You don't see that all the time on acoustic guitars. This one is a completely acoustic guitar. As you can see, we just have a pin for the strap. There is no input anywhere on this instrument. 100% acoustic. So it gives it a pretty nice little tone. I like it. There's no interruption in the wood anywhere for a little, EQ or having to cut into it for electronics or a pickup. Now, of course, it is nice to have an acoustic guitar like that, because then you can play it live with a full band, and you can still put it through a PA system and hear it and mix it in with all the other instruments, which is nice. But it's cool to have one of these all acoustic ones too. It's nice to kind of have around the house, which is what I'm doing with mine, and I also take it out and use it for lessons. And you can even still record with it if you're in the studio. You can put a nice mic or two, condenser microphone for you audio engineers out there, and mix and match some different sounds. Anyway, so for a guitar like this one, an acoustic like this one, I should say, if you're going to tune it up, really the best option is something I've been talking about in all my other lessons, and that's a clip-on tuner. And today I actually decided to have one with me. So this is what I use. I like it. It's called a Snark tuner. This one is specifically called the Super Snark. You can see it. They can be found at most music stores these days. They're usually right there at the register, and they're about like $20, $25, somewhere in there, depending on where you go. And they come in a variety of cool colors. I've got the standard black one, but there's also red and blue I've seen out there. They're pretty cool. Anyway, so I like to clip mine, if you can see it, there we go, right here onto the top of the headstock of the guitar. And then the nice thing is we can still get it in tune. Unlike, if we have a pedal tuner like this one here, this is my go-to. You can see it's a little bright in the light there. There we go. That's your typical Boss chromatic tuner pedal, the TU3. I use this when I'm playing bass or electric guitar, and of course you got inputs. You can plug it in, have it along with your other effects pedals on your effects rack down on the ground, and it sits in real nice. But again, with a 100% acoustic guitar like this, that one's not going to work so great for you. So clip-on is the way to go. Anyway, we're already tuned up, but in case we need to fine-tune, we'll go there. So now let's get into Take It Easy. Now, this song uses chords that are called cowboy chords. I don't know if you've ever heard that term. It's, let's see, we got G, there's G major. You can see me playing it right here, this little shape. All right, that's your typical G major chord. And then the next chord is C major. All right, there's that one. And then D major. There's that, right? Those are some pretty standard, fairly easy to play guitar chords that you would learn fairly early on in playing the guitar. There are a couple more in the song as well. We got A minor, which looks an awful lot like a different one. It's not in the song, E major, right? But E major, not in Take It Easy. But we do have E minor, right? We can play it with the first 2 fingers or the middle 2 fingers. It just depends on what chord you're going from. So anyway, we call those cowboy chords because you typically are going to be playing them on an acoustic guitar, and they just kind of get strummed nice and easy. Right? Just strumming along the images of, you know, a cowboy out on the ranch, sitting up on the fence somewhere with his acoustic guitar, just strumming some chords. That's why they're called cowboy chords. So anyway, this tune, if you haven't heard it before, it kind of invokes that spirit, kind of a roaming spirit. There's even mentions of roaming down the road in a flatbed Ford, stopping in Winslow, Arizona. I don't know if any of you have ever been to Winslow, Arizona, but it's a pretty small town. You can roll right through it. It's very much in the countryside. So what I'm going to do is play a little excerpt of the song in case you haven't heard it, and I'll probably jam along with it a little bit, and then I'll break down the chord structures a little bit more for you after we listen to the song. So here we go. Take It Easy by the Eagles. And keep in mind, sometimes these 1970s recordings that you hear might feel a little bit out of tune if you're jamming along with them, because in the 1980s and prior, songs were sometimes sped up from their original recording to accommodate radio airplay so they could fit a certain time and not run for too long, because that's very important in radio, still is these days. But before we really got into the popular digital recording age like we're in now and have been since the early 1990s, it was pretty difficult. There's really no way with the technology we had to speed up a recording without also changing the pitch a little bit. So if you sped something up, it would get a little bit higher pitched, even if it was just the slightest bit. So that's why it might seem a little bit out of tune. But an example of that happening is if you've ever, you know, if you're as old as I am or older, you've ever tried recording something directly to a tape, and then you speed the tape up, maybe like fast forward it or put it on a faster speed, all of a sudden you sound like the Chipmunks, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and that's because the speed's going faster and then your pitch went up. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking over the song now. The A minor chord. It's a little off. All right, there's a good little bit of the song. I'm sure if you're a classic rock enthusiast like myself, you're very familiar with that tune. Still gets a lot of radio airplay these days on all the many classic rock stations throughout the country. Okay, so let's break these chords down. Let's look at them a little bit closer. All right, this song is in the key of G major. So the chord that we use the most in the song is a G major chord. Again, this is kind of one of the earliest chords that you will learn playing the guitar once you get into playing chords and getting past just doing single notes. All right, so G major, you're going to use all four of your fingers. And when we're talking guitar as well as bass, the fingers on your left hand, or whatever your fretting hand is, if you play left-handed, then your fretting hand is your right hand. But index finger is finger number 1, middle finger is finger number 2, your ring finger, even though my ring is on my middle finger, is finger number 3, and your pinky is finger number 4. So again, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so your Second finger, the middle finger, is going to go on the 3rd fret of the lowest string on the guitar. That's your low E string, same as the bass. Right there, there it goes, okay. And your first finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string, which is your next highest string. So there's those. Let's see how I use my pick here to pluck those. There we go, okay. Now we're going to skip over the next 2 strings. We're going to go up to the 2 highest strings. So your 3rd finger, your ring finger, is going to go on the 3rd fret of your B string. B for boy, which is right here, if you can see it. There we go. Yep. Okay, and then tucked right underneath it is going to go your pinky, your 4th finger, 3rd fret of the high E string, your high string. And there we go. Make sure your thumb stays tucked behind the back of the neck, serving as an anchor for the rest of your fingers. And here we go. You can strum all 6 strings because those 2 middle strings are going to remain open. There we go. Has a nice little brilliant sound. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this way so you can kind of see what I'm doing with the fingers on my left hand there. If you can catch it, there we go. Get my hair out of the way. They are approaching the strings on the fretboard here at basically a 90-degree angle. And I'm doing that so that my fingers don't accidentally touch the open strings that need to ring out. Because if they do that, they're going to mute them, and then we're not going to get the full effect of the chord. So that's something to be aware of when you're playing guitar at all times. You want to have your fingers approaching the strings at a 90-degree angle. You don't want to have them hanging down like this, because as you can see, they wind up touching other strings, and you might need those strings to ring out. So going at it like this is what's going to ensure every string that is supposed to ring out in a chord is able to ring out. And that's how we get that nice sound. Nice full sound. There we go. Okay. Next chord is the C major chord. That's another pretty basic chord. All right. This time, the ring finger, the 3rd finger, is going to go on the 3rd fret of your A string. That's this one right here. See, I'm wiggling it. Okay. Second finger, middle finger, is going to go on the 2nd fret of your D string, this one right here. And then lastly, your 1st finger is going to go on the 1st fret of your B string. Okay, and see, that's how it lines up, looking like a good C chord. All right, this time you're only going to strum the 5 highest strings, so no low E string in this chord. You do not strum this one, so when you take your pick, you're going to start right here. So notice how, I don't know if you can see it, but my pick is right there on the A string, ready to strum. Now, again, it's going to be the same deal. All 5 of these strings, even though we're fretting only 3 of them, we're going to strum these 5 strings. We got a couple open strings in there too. Here we go. All right? That gives us a nice little sound too. Okay? Then next is the D major chord. All right, D major, 1st finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of your G string. So that's this one right here. All right. Then your 2nd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of your high E string. So we're skipping over the B string. But don't worry, we're going to also grab the B string, but we're going to get it with your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So that's right there, right between the 2. There you go. So there's your D major chord. Check it out. There you go. Looks nice. All right. And now this one, you're only going to use the 4 highest strings. So no low E and no low A strings on this one. Here we go. Got a little buzzy on that one. There we go. So there's your D major chord. Those 3 chords are what you're playing the vast majority of the song. They happen in different orders. Sometimes you go from G right to D, other times you go from G to C, and then to D. You'll see as I play along, if you didn't already. Okay, now in the pre-choruses of the song, there's those 2 minor chords, the A minor chord and E minor chord. So let's take a look at those. Let's start first with E minor. That's, again, just another pretty basic chord for the guitar. E minor, we're going to strum all 6 strings, and we're going to fret on 2 of them. Usually, you're going to use your first 2 fingers to play this one. So you're going to take your 1st finger. It's going to go on the 2nd fret of your A string. So 2nd to lowest one right here. There it is. And then your second finger is also going to be on the second fret, but on the D string right above it. So they're right next to each other. The D string. So one line. Okay. And then it's all the rest of the open strings are ringing out, and that'll give you E minor. There you go, right? You've heard that before. Okay. And then the other one is A minor. So for your A minor chord, you're actually going to leave your second finger on the second fret of your D string. So that's just going to stay right there, same as it was for that E minor chord. So that makes it easy to move between these two chords, which they commonly are used together in songs. And then we're going to take our third finger, your ring finger, and that's going to also be on the second fret, but this time the second fret of the G string right above it. And then you're going to take your first finger, and that's going to go on the first fret of the B string, same as the C major chord. And these two chords aren't terribly different, C major and A minor, that is. Okay, to get A minor, again, it's going to be the 5 highest strings, so no low E string on this one, but all the other 5. Here we go. Right? So super easy to go. E minor to A minor. Right? Easy move. Pivot off that second finger because it stays in the same place. Check it out. If I want to go to C minor, again, I'll still leave my second finger there, and then boom, we're in place for that one. Right? And we just have to go from C major, which is what I just played, to A minor, or just taking that third finger and moving it off the third fret of the A string and swinging it around to the second fret of the G string. There's A minor, C major, A minor. They don't even really sound all that different. There's just a slight difference in characteristics. C major is a lot brighter. A minor is a little darker. And there you go. Okay. So now, let's play the song. So that beginning part, now of course there are many other guitar parts. The Eagles are known for their very lush arrangements. You know, they had 2, or sometimes even there would be a third guitar player along playing with them, but Joe Walsh and Don Felder, those guys are both phenomenal guitar players, both rhythm and lead. Of course, they're super famous for their combined guitar solo, or duet, we should say, at the end of Hotel California. That's super well known, probably one of the most iconic harmonized guitar parts of all time. And anyway, but they would always layer a lot of guitar parts in the studio. There would be some acoustics strumming along. Usually, you know, Glenn Frey would be playing the acoustic, and then you'd have Joe Walsh and Don Felder doing the electric guitar parts and kind of splitting the leads if they weren't doing some kind of cool lead harmony together. So I guess I'm doing more of the Glenn Frey part. Of course, Glenn Frey also sometimes would move over to the keys. So those kinds of songs, we maybe only have 2 guitars going. But then there are even times where Don Henley would step out from behind the drum kit and he'd lend an acoustic guitar. So lots of guitars in the Eagles, and of course, the other thing they're very well known for is their lush harmonies, vocal harmonies, that is, because all of those guys could sing both harmony and lead vocals. Very talented band. All right, here we go. Here's that intro, the acoustic guitar part. So that was the intro through the first verse and through the first chorus. So we'll kind of vary up the mixture of the chords, but that took care of all of the chords in the song. It's just kind of different, variations with different lyrics throughout the rest of the song. And then there's that guitar solo section. There is an outro where things change a little bit, and there's this awesome banjo part that comes in, but that's something for another time. So anyway, thank you very much for joining in. It was great to see you once again. Looking forward to more lessons. I'm thinking next time we're gonna take a look at the piano just to round out the top 4, and we'll keep the lessons flowing. So this time from Los Angeles, California, thanks for visiting, and we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend. Oh, and before we say goodbye, do not forget, you can check me out on Instagram and also Twitter at DTMcG on bass. That's DTMCGONBASS. And then also, very exciting, earlier this week, I officially relaunched my website, darrenthomasmcguire.com. You can check me out there. You can hear a number of recordings that I've played on in the studio, playing bass and also singing. There's even a sax track or 2 in there, even a mandolin track on there. And you can also see some videos of some live performances I've done. Also, you can contact me there as well. You can click on the contact box, and it'll take you right to a form, or you can directly get at me. So please say hi. Enjoy your weekend. Take care.